Right, we're back, and today we're going to be looking how art can be used as a tool in protest culture, whether it's the legendary DDS crew and their 2020 takeover of Oxford Circus, or it's Extinction Rebellion and the Red Rebel Brigade with their flowing red robes. Whether it's illegal or legal, since records began, protest culture has been ingrained in our blood. And today we're going to be meeting a member of a group that are louder, more disruptive than many others. Beneath the water, they're kicking like crazy. They basically vilified the colour orange. We're talking about Just Stop Oil. So we're going to shoot over to Hackney now, and we're going to talk to Pia, who is one of the members, and we're going to sit down and get to know their mindset a little bit better. We're currently in Kensington at the moment. A week ago today, we were at the protest for Palestine, grabbing some photos, seeing how photography can be used as a tool. And yeah, we're just going to have a little sit down, little chat, and find out what's going on. I wanted to do this outside the Israeli embassy, but obviously with everything going on, they told me to go away. So outside the Mongolian one instead, as apparently they have no political situations at the moment. But there we go. Bang. Hi, Pia, lovely to be here. Representing Just Stop Oil. Just to begin with, obviously your goal is to offset oil, gas and coal by 2030. Can you tell us about the origins of Just Stop Oil?
Yeah, so Just Stop Oil started off the back of Extinction Rebellion and Internet Britain that got their demands met. So in early 2022, Just Stop Oil was created and started with the occupation of oil terminals.
And your co-founder, Roger Hallam, he's in jail for 4 years now. What was the backlash and how did your community feel about that sentence?
I mean, those sentences are absolutely ridiculous. There's a reason why the UK has fallen so low in terms of human rights ranking. It's absolutely outrageous that anyone gets locked up for years for peaceful protesting. And
when you say about the peaceful protesting, obviously you've got quite a history of quite crazy things. So you did the M25 in 2022, Grand Prix as well, the Silverstone, and then more recently the whole Stonehenge thing. So how do you feel like using art through activism, and how are you trying to achieve those goals through the defacing of things?
So I feel that we're here to disrupt, right, be it the cultural sphere or the political sphere, and some people feel that some spaces are sacred, like culture and arts, for example, but we need to realise that there won't be any art on a dead planet. Okay. So that's the logic. That's the logic behind it. Obviously,
Stonehenge is a very important site for paganism, for example. Obviously, paganism isn't one of the more recognised religions in the UK. But if that was, say, a church or a mosque, how would you feel the backlash from that through religious groups?
So we did disrupt a service at St Paul's Cathedral. I know that doesn't involve material damage, but I think the action was carefully designed in terms of no permanent damage was caused. It was really just to hit those headlines. And
have you guys got some big things coming up, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any inside scoops, or?
I can't say so much in terms of what is actually going to concretely happen, but cultural events are going to be disrupted.
And is this a direct way to get to the government or the people? Because one thing I did see, which is a lot of backlash online through social media, is to be quite apparent, is the public backing is probably at zero and unpopularity is at its lowest. But compared to other groups, say like Greenpeace, who have a little bit more of a public backing, I feel like Just Stop Oil is quite a buzzword now. But how do you guys try and combat the backlash through social media?
I think we're here to be radical. We occupy the space in the radical flank. That's why groups like XR or Greenpeace, Fossil Free London are a bit more popular. But a group needs to be pushing forwards, and that's why, for example, Martin Luther King at this time was the most hated man in America. He was absolutely literally, right? But now you look back 40, 50 years later, and people are actually, you needed to be that radical, and at the time peacefully sitting, on a bus was radical.
It was
and it's those things evolve,
Because how do you guys respond to the criticism?
I think we tend to be vilified in the media, and that's where our social media, for example, comes in handy, is because it shows that we are humans behind the action. We do that through testimonials and through exactly what we're doing right now, interviews.
And have you got a separate team? What's the money side behind it? Obviously, I know public backing is low, but have you got any businesses that are involved, like silent partners?
We've got big donors, quite a few creative, like Adam McKay, for example, and we've got a fundraising team that tends to target those big names.
So is it run as a business or as a charity?
Neither of those things, just an organisation.
It's an organisation, interesting, because obviously when you think of an organisation, like there's always like little, it's like an octopus, isn't it? It's like lots of little side steps onto that. But like, what is the future of Just Stop Oil? Like, are you guys going to continue when it hits 2030? Say you do manage to hit what you will. Where do you go from there?
So our original demand, which was no more extraction of fossil fuels, has been met. That's why we've moved on now to our next demand, which is no more using oil, gas, and coal by 2030, and also that the UK signs and implements a non-proliferation treaty. And I think we want those demands to be met, and when they are met, maybe we'll morph into something else, or the same way Just Stop Oil came to life. Maybe we'll give space to another group to be radical.
Because in an ideal world, like, what is the future of global energy according to you guys?
In an ideal world, so fully renewable energy, a more fair society that doesn't have to choose between eating or heating, free public transportation or cheap public transportation, no domestic flights, just a better, fairer society.
And going back to Roger Allen, and once he gets out of jail, is he going to get even more involved, or is he going to take a step back? Like, who's going to be the figurehead of the organisation?
So we tend to, as much as we have a structure in terms of being an organisation and having those different departments, people are replaceable, right? So Roger has moved on to Assemble, for example. That's his next project, is as citizens' assembly and creating a different kind of democracy. So I think he might be getting more involved on that side, and we keep on pushing on the environmental side.
And how are you guys getting young people? Because obviously I see there's quite a lot of older people who are involved, but obviously the next generation of the people that you're trying to look after, I was like, how are you getting younger people to get involved?
So we're under the umbrella organisation, which also groups youth demand, which used to be Just Stop Oil students, but now they've got different demands. They're focused on Palestine as well as climate. And at the moment, considering the considerable prison sentences that are falling, it's mainly retired people who can take those risks.
Well, it's a big risk, isn't it? You're giving up your freedom, effectively. And when it's not heard or not seen or not respected, it's quite hard to sit in a cell and think about where you are compared to everyday people, especially the big businesses who are still walking free, still getting on those first class flights and stuff. Beautiful, easy. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
No worries.
And hopefully the future's looking a little bit brighter, but especially in the sun. But there we are. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Easy. Thank you. Beautiful. Whether it's Pia and her crew, Louis Theroux, DDS, or some of Resistance, art can be used on a multifaceted level in regards to art. From photography to documentaries to graph, art and activism will always be connected. Thanks.